Good evening and welcome to the Monday, September 11 Muscatine School District Board of Education meeting. Madam Secretary, can you please take roll and help us determine the quorum, please?
Sure. Directors Connard.
Here.
Cooney.
Here.
Beat.
Here.
LaRue.
Here.
Morgan.
Here.
Phillips. Here. Sure.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the Pledge of the Allegiance by Miss McMahon class at Susan Clark Junior High. Can we please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. High School Board!
Small class.
Thank you. Thank you. Before we continue with our meeting tonight, we would like to take a moment to reflect on the tragic events of September 11th, 2001, and remember the lives lost that day. We also honor the brave men and women who worked tirelessly to recover those trapped in the rubble. Our nation came together to mourn and heal in the days following. At this time, please join us in a moment of silence to remember those that were lost 22 years ago. Thank you. Moving forward with our agenda, we would like to welcome all our visitors and media representatives. With that, we move into student school board representative reports.
It's on. You're
Oh,
right.
it's on? Okay. So my name's Troy Olsis. I'm currently a senior at the high school. And
I'm Kira Holler. I'm currently a junior at the high school.
so I'm just going to be going over some sports that, like our records and how we're doing currently, and also the FFA. And then Kira will go into what student council is currently doing at the high school and the future with it. So right now, our school volleyball team, we're 4-3 at the moment. Our next game will be going to Bendorf on Tuesday, and hope for some success there. Football, they're 1-3 at the moment. Hope for some more wins. The next game will be Friday, and there's also going to be a tailgate due to the no school due to in-service that the teachers have, which we had a tailgate about 2 years ago. There was relative success there. Students had fun. There was lots of food. There were games. So we look forward to more success, and hopefully it's a fun event that we have. And then, so boys cross country, they're doing relatively good, I believe. The people I know on there, they're having fun, so that's always a good thing. Girls swim, they've won a couple invites. They've won some duels, so we're happy with that. And then for the FFA, there was on August 26th, I believe, there was a state FFA meet evaluation contest, which we had pretty good success in. The team won third high team overall, which I believe means just third. It's complicated, the ratings they have. Girl Cheyenne got 5th, Saxby Stein was 7th, and Jack Swartz was 8th place. So that's pretty good overall in the state. And then there was a livestock judging contest, which they won 5th high team overall. And then somebody received 3rd high individual. I'm not sure who that was. I'm just reading off the FFA Instagram post. Now I'll pass it over to Kira with the student council events coming up.
But one last thing about sports. So boys and girls cross country will be having their first home meet in like over 10 years. It'll be Monday the 18th. So please come and support the Muskies since it's been such a long time since we've had a home meet. New Muskie Day was really a great success for us, as both the student council and the MHS staff helped out a lot. On New Muskie Day is basically the day that we help new freshmen show them where their classes are, get them a better understanding of how the school is and where things are at. One of the it was a lot of success this year because the weather was nice enough to have our photo outside, which is always a great thing. Homecoming is coming up this week. Student Council announced the homecoming theme, Out of This World, which the students will be traveling for galaxies far, far away and going into outer space. They also announced the homecoming court and the homecoming theme days. On Monday, the 18th, students will be encouraged to dress as if they are in a professional Zoom call with a suit jacket on top and PJs on bottoms. Tuesday will be an age day where each class has been assigned an age group. For example, freshmen will be babies and seniors will be senior citizens. On Wednesday will be clone day where you dress the same as a friend. And then Thursday will be superheroes versus villains where you can dress up as a superhero or a villain. And then finally on Friday will be Muskie School Spirit Day. And other homecoming events that we have planned is the Powder Puff game, which has been moved from Monday the 18th to Wednesday to the 20th. And the parade and the coronation will be on the 21st. Senior walk and the senior hand wall, where the seniors paint their hands on the wall, will be on the 22nd. And last but not least, the senior dance will be on the 23rd. I'm sorry, the homecoming dance, not senior dance. Would you like to finish it off?
Yep. Also, some students have raised concerns about the locker room at the high school. It was over 80 degrees on the first week of school, and that was paired with 90-degree heat in the outside, which left students pretty angry. And one student even looked at the thermostat, and it was turned on. The heat was turned on, so we just thought we'd bring that to the attention of the board that some students were angry with that. So
yeah, like the main reason why it's so hot is because the locker rooms actually don't have like air conditioning. So I believe I talked to Mr. Castle and he said that he has looked into it a little bit.
Well, first of all, I want to take the opportunity to welcome both of you on behalf of the Board of Education here. Trey and Kira, we look forward to see you every month and to get updates from you about what's going on at the high school. So we're very proud of you. We are very happy that you joined us now this year. And I don't know if anybody around the table here, any board member, have any question for them or would like to say a few words to both of them.
Just welcome.
How do you feel the cell phone policy is going so far?
Honestly, I think the cell phone policy has been like one of the best it has been this year. I've noticed that all around, teachers have been more enforcing it. Last year, it was more of a, you use the cell phone as your teacher allows, but now it's more of a school-wide policy to put the phone away during class, and it's actually, I think it's been pretty successful.
Good.
Good here.
Thank you.
Do you have any thoughts, Trey?
Oh, sorry. I personally haven't noticed any change. My classes are usually a little higher, so the students aren't usually on their phones as much, and they're more interested in the class and what's being taught. So it personally hasn't affected me as much as Kira has noticed it. But I believe it's a new thing that some students are accepting and some are still kind of resisting towards. But that's just how things go sometimes. It's just change.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So moving forward with our agenda, the next item on our agenda is Citizen Speaks. If anyone in the audience wants to address the board, please step to the podium, state your name and address. You will have 3 minutes. Per Iowa code, we cannot respond or engage in any discussion during the board meeting. And as I mentioned before, that doesn't mean you cannot approach us, talk to us, call us, email us, and so on, outside the school board setting. So anybody here would like to address the board? Okay. So moving forward, we move into the board targets, goals report. Item A, Students will graduate prepared for post-secondary options. Item B, Muscatine schools will utilize resources effectively and equitably. And item C, students will learn in a positive and supportive environment. And under this item, we have the Scanlan Fellowship Award presentation by our HR Director, Jamie Kruger, please.
Hi. Good evening. Got it right this time. So I want to give you a brief overview of what the Scanlan Fellowship is. This opportunity came to us this summer at the end of June from the University of Iowa Scanlan Center for Mental Health, and it was letting districts know of an opportunity where we could apply for up to 5 fellowship grants for paraeducators to do additional training in Des Moines and also online coursework centered around mental health. And that is kind of a trifold between their personal mental health, student mental health, and staff mental health as a whole. And so just knowing that sometimes resources are limited in the mental health realm, I jumped on this opportunity to apply, knowing that, you know, if we got it, great. If we didn't, we'll find something else. We were fortunate enough to get the award for 4 of our paraeducators to participate. I don't know how many districts got all 5, but I felt very proud that we got 4 out of our 5 requests. What this will do is it's $15,000 per paraeducator, and $7,000 of that is coming to the district on November 1st, and that will go towards helping to pay for their travel to Des Moines for those Saturday in-person meetings, any travel accommodations, anything that's associated with that. And then the other $8,000 goes directly to the paraeducator, and it's broken up into 4 $2,000 installments. And as they complete components of the training and the online modules, they will qualify for the $2,000 from the district, which is in turn from the state. This is a great opportunity for us to grow some leadership potential within our paraeducator ranks. I am a firm believer that some of the most important people we have in our classroom are the unsung heroes in our support staff. So I was very excited that we get to share this with 4 of them. And I think this is a great opportunity for them to not only get some education opportunities and practical applications around mental health, but it gives them a platform to share this information to their buildings and our staff in the district as a whole. So the selection criteria went out, and we prioritized special ed paras and classroom paras because they are the ones with direct impact first and foremost. We sent the information out to all paras, and they had a very short turnaround time to get back their interest level. And out of the 9 that replied back that they had interest, we then knew we had to vet them. So we did a 4-question survey real quick, asking why they think they're a good fit for this fellowship, how they would use that information in their position and in the district, how they plan to share their knowledge with their building staff and as support staff as a whole, and then just confirming their commitment to going to those 3 days and doing the online training. So I was very excited. We had 5 folks get back to us with the completed survey, and so we were kind of in a holding pattern until August 31st, because when the state says, hey, we're going to let you know by the end of August, they truly mean August 31st. So we got the information that we got 4 of the 5 slots, and so we went back, and the top 4 with the most robust answers on what they would use this learning for and how they would share it were how we selected the top 4 who were going to participate. I'm very excited to say that they're representative of 3 of our elementary schools. So we've got Franklin with Jasmine Mills. She is a special education para. Bree Harrington at Grant, who is also a special ed para. And then our 2 McKinley paras who are with me tonight, Lori Shield and Susan Melton, who are both general ed classroom paras. And I'm going to have them share because it's way more important for you to hear from them than me up here. So if you ladies would join me, I'm going to have them explain a little bit of what they do on a daily basis and really what this fellowship will mean to them.
Well, you don't make me cry. We're short. Should I lower this? Thank you. As Jamie mentioned, my name is Lori Shield. I have been a para in the district for 18 and a half years. In January will be year 19. I have worked in one and only building, and that is McKinley Elementary. And to say it's my home would be an understatement. I feel that this opportunity that has come my way and that I'm so fortunate to be a part of is so close to me, because as a person who has struggled with clinical depression, this means a lot to me. I not only struggle with depression, but I'm thriving with it, and I am in a position that I can share positiveness with people that I work with at every opportunity possible. So when this opportunity came up, I felt like God was speaking to me, that this was meant for me to do. It kind of is add a girl for me, having 18 and a half years of tenure in the district. And I have a lot of good ideas, and it's time I share them. So I'm ready. This is going to be amazing. And I have this young lady with me. Once you get a certain age, you can call people young lady. This is an amazing young lady that I have the opportunity to work with. So for us to partner, it couldn't be better. There you go.
Thanks so much, Lori. Hi, my name is Susan Melton, and I have been a para at McKinley this is my second year, and I don't have nearly as long a speech as she does, but I'm just happy to get this opportunity to learn some things and bring them back to the district and to the community, and to work with the kiddos that I see every day become the best versions of themselves.
And our other two paras would have been here, but they just could not make the last-minute invitation work. So I'm hopeful that we'll bring them back later in the year once they've completed their 3 days in Des Moines and some of their online training, because we want to keep giving good updates and keep the momentum going. In addition to the training and the curriculum that they're working with, it's called Imagine Iowa, and it's a resource-based curriculum rooted in mental health, and so it deals with a wide spectrum of, behaviors, knowledge, skills, attitudes, and stigma around mental health. So I think that overcoming some of those pieces will not only help our kids, but they're going to help our entire community with some coping skills. And so I'm pretty excited, and I'm very proud for these four ladies to do this, and I think that it's only going to get better. So.
Jamie, thank you. Lori and Susan, many thanks on behalf also of the board. And I know if board members, I don't know if any of them have any question for you, but I know Tony is expecting us to move this way here as a board and be in the picture that he is ready to take. So unless you have questions, board members.
Mine is just a quick response area, because Miss Shield over there, Missy here, has worked with me for quite a few years in other capacities. I've walked in the building where she's at, and I can tell you she'll give anybody a hug. And when I see her, she's like the cheerleader, that's around places and stuff, and the costumes and everything that she has on can be quite entertaining in itself through the course of the time. So I look forward to not only, Lori, what you're able to do with, but then you also and the other couple of them as well. I really want to have a great report back on how all that worked.
Yep, and before they do their days in Des Moines with the Imagine Iowa curriculum, I am going to be going through it at the Iowa Best Conference myself, so that I can best serve them in serving others. So it'd be great.
Thank you.
And I have to tell you, when I called to tell Lori that she got it, she cried.
I knew that.
Any other question for them before we move to the front? Okay, so we'll take a minute here as Tony is guiding us, and we move there.
Like so.
Okay. So confused.
Oh.
Oh.
Don't make me laugh, Lori. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Take a bunch. Got it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Usually sit down.
I know. I know. I think go down. Yeah. That would have been.
Moments like that makes us all very proud that we are part of our school district. So thank you for everything. Thank you. With that, we move forward on our agenda and superintendent updates.
Thank you, John. So just a couple quick things from me, and then we'll have a little more information for you. Construction update. Again, things, we've been kind of construction heavy here at our board meetings of late, but things are moving along. Still waiting on an anticipated September 25th completion for the centralized kitchen. Just some doors and some issues on getting things there on time have continued to kind of slow the completion of that project on. I think in terms of progress on Susan Clark, McKinley, Madison and Grant, things are moving along well there. The high school wrestling project all seems to be going well. I know they've been starting on Jefferson, and Bruner Field is well underway, and I think they'll be starting on high school softball here very soon if they haven't already started moving some dirt. So I think in general, from a progress standpoint, I'm feeling pretty good about how things are moving along, and hopefully we can wrap up that centralized kitchen here very soon. Just some things I wanted to bring back to you. We spent a lot of time the last time talking about the student handbook and some of the legislative policies that were passed this past year. We still have not received any guidance from the Department of Ed. And really not getting any information. It's just been kind of crickets. So we are still waiting for that. I was at a ADA meeting on Thursday. We had a rep there. You know what? Did I hit my mute button again? Okay. Sorry. I forget there's a mute button under here. Turn that off sometimes. But we had a rep from the Department of Ed there, no word. So, obviously we're waiting on that guidance, and every district is kind of in a holding pattern because that will impact policies, procedures, and there'll be additional board work that we'll need to do. So in the meantime, we're moving forward and going to do the best we can. As questions come up, we do reach out to the state. But again, one of the changes from the state was in a reduction of the number of departments across the state. And so I know there's fewer people at the Department of Education right now and trying to carry a heavy load. So I'll keep you posted as those things come along. And then I wanted to have Joelle McConaughey and Becky Witchers come and talk about this Thursday afternoon and Friday is our first early release and full day for professional development. We've got some awesome things planned. We talked about it again this morning. I thought we just need to share that with you as a board and community, some of the work that's happening this week.
All right, so good evening. So just to give you a little bit of an update, on Thursday we have an early release, and all teachers will be involved with their in their buildings for staff meetings and working through some professional development that was chosen by their building. On Friday morning, we will have district meetings and department meetings. And just to kind of give you a little update, the preschool will be working on specially designed instruction, which is relevant to students who have IEPs and serving those students. The kindergarten through 5th grade teachers will be attending it's called DIBBLES training, And what that is it's a program that helps support students who might be struggling with reading. So all students get CORE, CKLA Amplify reading curriculum. This is in addition to that, and it was part of our literacy adoption. So they will be getting trained on how to support students, and then they will also be working on certification to be able to give that assessment. The 6th through 12th grade ELA teachers will be involved in writable training, and that is a component of the literacy adoption as well. It's a program that focuses on writing for our students, and so they will be at the high school. And then the rest of the teachers in the district will be working on their own coursework. They're continuing work on identifying standards, which they've all done that by now. They're creating common assessments, working on instructional strategies, and just having time to plan together as a grade level or department. And then Becky's going to talk about Friday afternoon.
So Friday afternoon, September 15th, beginning at 12:30, doors will open at 12:30, where we will have all employees will be attending. We are accessing the auditorium at Calvary because when we all get together, we are too large to fit in the high school auditorium. And to put us in the gym, there's no air conditioning, and there is air conditioning at Calvary's auditorium. So doors open at 12:30. We will have Joe Beckman. He will be kicking off our school year with a very, very high energy event that's focused basically around human connections. So through his dynamic talks that are around improving culture, increasing connections, he combines that with a little bit of humor, some heart, some soul. He is an international speaker. He basically believes in kids. You will hear themes of self-worth, resilience, confidence, joy, and then most importantly, human connection. So you are all welcome to attend. Doors open at 12:30. There'll be a few surprises, and then we will actually begin the event at 1 o'clock, and we will conclude on or before 3:45.
Any question? Well, Joel or Becky?
And just a reminder to the board, this will be the second year where we've kind of set up those days. So it's that Thursday early release and then all day Friday, and really thinking about it in terms of there's building dedicated time, district dedicated time, and then like department grade level time, a part of that kind of day and a half. So it's a great opportunity to really get some of that work moving forward. So we're excited to have that. Joe Beckman, just, and again, our, Becky and Joelle helped bring him to the district. But it was somebody I actually worked with in Minnesota, in the district I was in previously, who just happened to live kind of in the backyard where I was working, and had done some great work for us there. Again, very motivating, and people really enjoyed hearing him speak. So I think it'll be a good thing for the staff to hear. So we're excited to have him Friday. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you, Clint, and thank you, Joel and Becky, for the updates. Thank you. Our next item is the possible action item on our agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the Board of Education and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a director so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence from the agenda. The items are, number 1, minutes, number 2, bills and claims, number 3, employment recommendations, number 4, board policies with minor, no changes required by law, number 5, MOU with AIM, and number 6, MOU with EICC for college credits for for high school students. What are the wishes of the board?
I make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, motion carried. That will take us to item H on our agenda, which is to approve change order to include air conditioning on 4 Bluebird Vision school buses from school bus sales approved in July, amount not to exceed $40,000. What are the wishes of the board?
I'd like to approve change order to include air conditioning on the 4 Bluebird Vision school buses from school bus sales approved in July, amount not to exceed $40,000, please.
I'll second the motion.
So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
So just for clarification, we typically order 3 to 4 buses a year. Actually, of the 4 buses, one of them was already planned and approved for air conditioning, because what we typically do is our special ed, like lift buses, are air conditioned. And then after our last round of that really high heat this fall, did some follow-up. Chris Nienhaus did some follow-up, and they do the conversion for air conditioning after the bus is built anyway. So there was still time to do that. It's $12,500 per bus. And so what we would be asking for would be for those 3 buses, which would be $37,500. We didn't have that direct quote until this afternoon, so that's why we said not to exceed $40,000. Moving forward, we would propose just ordering all of our buses this way. Again, just gives you a lot more flexibility, and certainly we're going to have more hot days, but travel, anytime we're traveling to events and activities, I think it just makes sense to have.
A number of years ago, we had a couple buses that were air conditioned, and the units were very noisy. Hopefully, the technology has gotten better, and they're a little better now. Are they? You don't know? Come on, Chris. Yeah, hopefully it is, because they were very noisy, and you couldn't talk to somebody that was right across the aisle from you.
We try to drown out the kids, so to keep that as noisy as possible. No, I'm not aware of that issue. It's something we'll kind of keep an eye on, though.
But we definitely need to have them air conditioned if we have some issues. So,
Do we need to amend the motion then to say 3 buses instead of 4?
Well, all 4 of them are going to be,
It wasn't a change order, right?
but the change order, it's still going to be less than that. So I think we're fine with what we have.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a need to put air conditioning in any of the buses we purchased the last few years?
I would say now, moving forward, we'll just do this as we do those 3 to 4 every year, and we'll kind of just keep moving in that direction, would be my recommendation.
Can you remind me how big of a fleet we have? So I'm just trying to figure out how many years till we have the full turnover.
You're right.
It's around 40.
So 10 years? 9 years?
It's around 40.
Oh,
I'll just say it for him.
yeah, okay. I was just to make sure that our audience also will hear the answer. Thank you, Chris. Thanks.
He needs to get on camera anyway.
It's around 40. I couldn't tell the exact number, but it's about 40.
And then what fund does this come out of?
So this comes out of our capital projects fund.
So does this make it so that like maybe a playground or something wouldn't be prioritized at some point?
We should still be able to do those things. Yeah, certainly we'll have an impact on some of those things, but again, it's not going to prevent us from doing other things.
I mean, air conditioning is always nice, but I think we need it maybe 2 weeks out of the year if we have enough for activities, right? It might not be the priority at some point. I'm sorry to every bus driver that is sweating. I don't mean to not prioritize that, but I know we have some things that are needing attention to.
Well, along with that then, and probably a different little bit of funds ability is because that we had those questions about because of the heat, and then of course you said the gyms not being air conditioned, and we definitely had some folks get a hold of us about those needs as well.
Yeah, the gym at the high school and the locker rooms are not air conditioned. The gym, we have replaced those large fans, and they actually push quite a bit of air now. The rest of the building, so they'll put in the big fans to try to draw that air in. And I believe they use those fans near the locker rooms as well to try to push air in there as best they can. So, and granted, locker rooms, I know they're hot. The issue with the bus is when it is that hot, our drivers are in them for a long period of time. And so that's why we've proposed this moving forward.
Absolutely.
Another question for Chris or Clint? Okay, thank you, Chris. Yeah, so we have a motion and second and discussion. So all those of you who are in favor of approving a change order to include air conditioning on 4 Bluebird Vision school buses from school bus sales approved in July, amount not to exceed $40,000. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, motion carried. Thank you. This will take us to our discussion and information section of our agenda. And item A on this is the second reading of policies. And we only have one, 503.4, promotional campaigns fundraising. Any question on this? And remember, we get one more reading before we approve that. If anybody have any question on any language item in that policy, please make sure you connect with Daphne. With that, I see Tom is ready for us, so we move into financials.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So tonight, I'm presenting the June 23 financials and just an updated version from last month. I have a one-page summary comparing the last 3 years. Pretty much our certified annual report is very close to being ready to certify on Friday. Just a few more things we have to take care of, double checking some things. But so this doesn't include, though, our internal service funds, which is your health and dental self-insurance and your custodial agency funds. So I'll refer to the line numbers on page 3 there. Our overall revenues have increased 10.8% over the last 3 years. However, this does exclude just the debt proceeds that we received this last year. I did not include that in there, and interfund transfers. Our taxes levied, which is line 1, increased 2.5% over the last 3 years. And our income surtax did increase, though, 16.9%. Some other local sources had a significant increase, obviously interest income on line 5, and then nutrition program sales on line 6. So if you think about back 2 years ago, we were not collecting any nutrition sales money because we were receiving federal money for all kids being able to eat breakfast and lunch, so that is the reason for that significant increase. There are some other local revenues on line 8, which include donations. Those did decrease by 58%. And about 2 years ago, we did receive $1 million for our stadium renovation, and so that amounted to that decrease, roughly. Our state aid and categorical on line 10, so those saw an increase of 1.8% over the last 3 years. Some other state sources on line 12 increased about 25%, and this is made up of basically our SAVE dollars, our sales tax money that we get. We saw an increase here this last fiscal year. The state changed the way that we usually got a catch-up. The fiscal year ends June 30th. We wouldn't get and throughout the whole year, they would give us an estimate over 12 months, and then they would do their catch-up payment in about October, November. And this last year, that was around $700,000. So there was a little bit more in sales tax revenue that we saw this last fiscal year. Now they changed it to where they're giving us they're sending schools the actual amount of sales tax revenue collected. of course, 1 month in arrears. So we probably won't see, a large catch-up payment like that anymore. So federal sources increased around 84%, and of course, the main reason with ESSER dollars that we received. So going to the expenditures, line 35 increased 20% over the last 3 years. And remember, there's 4 functional categories that we monitor every month to make sure we're spending within what the board approved in April. That is on line 23, line 30A, 31, and 34A. Those are those 4 functional categories. And the construction line on 32, that was the main increase for our expenditures over the last 3 years. And then line 24, you see the student support services has an increase, and that's due to the support services that we've added with the ESSER funds. And finally, the self-insurance fund summary. I gave you a 1-page summary there. Our per employee per month expense was $955 in FY23, which did increase from the prior year. And then our funding in the self-funding insurance fund was $1,056. So we did finish under what the per member per month was. So the next page then just summarizes the same things that I presented last month about important agenda items and informational items. Next month we'll be bringing forward some special education supplement action items, and then informational on our annual transportation report. So I would like to say FY23 will be put to rest on Friday, but obviously we have the audit season, and then we'll be bringing the audit report to you sometime later on this fall, winter, maybe January. So any questions?
Well,
Thank you.
maybe a little bit of a clarification, because
Sure.
you said about that $1 million that it decreased by 58%. So you're saying
our donation,
that was the only thing, or were there
No,
others?
Well, there could have been others. That was a significant change from the last 3 years. I just, looking to FY21, I knew that other revenues includes donations that we receive. And I know, it was $1.3 million 2 fiscal years ago, and I know we received at least $1 million donation in the capital projects fund for that project. So, yep.
For the self-insured, do we still get quotes to know what the alternative would be or what it would cost the district and things like that if we were to go away from that model at some point?
As far as going to a different company, or
right? How often
so
do those comparisons happen?
Every year we get our broker, which is Holmes Murphy. They do go to market, I guess you would say. So now that we're self-funding, that kind of breaks a lot of things down. Like we don't have to go 100% with Wellmark. Some of that stop loss insurance can go out to a different company, which nobody's been able to beat Wellmark at this point. So yes, the answer is we do make sure we're getting the best deal, I guess you might say. Now, at least in my experience here, I know Muscatine has been with Wellmark many years. I know for maybe 2 years they went away from Wellmark, and it was just kind of, I don't know. I mean, you all familiar with Wellmark and how big of a market they have in Iowa, and it just, anyway, so.
The self-funded decision was made before I was on the board table, so maybe just more curious to, at some point, not
So
now.
one of the reasons, so if you look at our actual costs for this last year was, as Tom mentioned, that $955, okay? Below that, it says carrier projected claims and fixed costs. So that per employee, per member, they they expected it to be $1,122. If we were fully insured, that's what they would charge us. And if we come in under that, they keep the rest of that money. So the advantage of being self-insured is that because we came in less than that and less than what we budgeted, we keep that money, and it helps us offset those costs moving forward, right? So like for this last year too, we know costs were projected to increase by 9-10%. Is that right,
Correct.
Tom?
Mm-hmm. Higher.
But we're only budgeting a 5 or 6% increase.
Right.
Again, if we were fully insured, Wellmark's going to look at us and say, we think you're going to go up 10%, 12%, and whatever that is, that's their cost. And Wellmark, because they're the biggest one in Iowa, will typically be the cheapest in the market. So you're kind of at their mercy in that when you're fully insured. So, and again, as we can build up those balances in the self-insurance fund, it helps keep our costs and cost to employees as low as possible. And we've been, for those first 2 years, we've been very successful with them. So from a board standpoint, that was a good decision. Had we done it a few years earlier, it would have been a really good decision. So.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any other question?
You put in 34A. What is in 34A or represents 34A? Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Total other expenditures.
Okay, so up above there, the AEA support, the debt service, and the facilities acquisition and construction, those three should be the other total other expenditures.
Okay. Gotcha. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other question? And remember, if, for example, you come up with a question, please connect with Tom,
Reach
right?
out.
I'm sure he will
you
be
know where
ready
I'll
to
be.
answer. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you.
Tom. Thank you. With that, we move into the announcements, meetings, and events. September 14, 2023, 2-hour early dismissal. September 15, 2023, no school teacher in service day. September 21st, 2023, a school board candidate filing deadline, 5 p.m. September 18 to 23, 2023, homecoming week. October 9, 2023, school board community conversation, 6 p.m. at the lower level here at the City Hall. And October 9, 2023, regular board meeting at 7 p.m. here at the City Hall. Any other announcement? Anybody have any other announcement to share with us?
Yes, I do. I want you to know that it's my high school 50th class reunion coming up this Saturday. And so, needless to say, we're going to have some muskies in the area that you may have not seen for a while. And Chris and staff has allowed us to be able to take a quick tour of the old MHS building before that is no longer with us. So I guess I'll report as in how I made it through that weekend, next time. So thank you.
Karen, will you guys stage another protest in the lobby down there while you're all there?
That's an idea. I will bring that up.
You can have a sit-in?
Yeah, because I'm the MC for the night, so I may have a little things that I can say that way. So thank you for that idea.
So, Karen, we wish you the best. We want you to enjoy that 50, big 50, right?
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Thank you.
John, I do have one other thing. Our next food pantry will be October 3rd from 4 to 5:30.
Thank you. Thank you for adding that. Any other announcement? Okay, if there's no announcement, do we have a motion to adjourn? I'm sorry, I couldn't talk anymore.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you. We have a motion.
Second.
And second, those of you who are in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Well, good night, everybody.